What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Yokai Delinquents podcast. I am Sean, Bearded Cappolitan.
And I'm Jerry Robo Tengu Smith. How's it going today, Sean?
It is going pretty interesting. We are actually, as y'all know who listen to our show, we've talked about before that we record in advance to keep the goods coming to y'all no matter what may happen. But today we decided we are releasing an episode the actual week of the recording, the actual day of the recording in this case.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, in a future episode, you're probably going to hear Sean announce that we are using the opening theme for the first time. But right. The way that linear time works,
right? Yeah. So,
you're getting it now instead.
Yeah. So we will explain it now, and you're going to hear it again in whatever the hell episode we first debuted it in. That opening theme song is Daruma Ika from the High and Low movie series. We've talked about it before, I'm sure, on an episode that's been out now, because I'm pretty sure we talked about it in like early episodes, that we love Japanese delinquent films. And the High and Low series is a series of that available on Netflix. And we both really like this opening song. So for now, until we get our own made, any of y'all musically inclined people out there might be willing, hey, hit us up. We've going to be using that on this one and maybe not the next one. I'm not sure anymore. Now that we've broken our cycle. But,
right.
But, we are, as always, we're always open about how the sausage is made around here. And with this one, because, like I said, so much went down this last week, we felt we just need to go ahead. Because recording in advance doesn't really allow us to talk about current events. It may be current when we record them, but by the time y'all actually hear it, not so much.
Yeah. So there were a lot of announcements, a lot of interesting media things that happened just last week. And this, since we are recording and we are going to upload this, yes, we do mean last week. Today is December the 14th.
Right.
So we are going to be talking about current news just because it was such a big news week for just media in general.
Absolutely.
I think it'll be good to get this out here and talk about, kind of our first thoughts on everything that is going on.
Yes, sir. So, Jerry, why don't you kick us off? What's something that happened recently that you really want to talk about?
So the first thing I think we got last week that kind of, I don't know that it shocked me as much, but it was really interesting, and I didn't know that it was going to be a thing. It may have just been me like not super paying attention to these companies, but the last Wednesday, Sony, that is the company that owns PlayStation, and they did own a lot of like Marvel movie rights and stuff. They bought Crunchyroll from AT&T for $1.2 billion.
Yes, they did. And the big thing about that was, for those who may also not know, Sony within their umbrella owns Funimation, the direct competitor to Crunchyroll, which I say competitor just because they're probably the two biggest anime streaming services available in the U.S., though Funimation certainly is more focused on their English dubs. Mm-hmm. Although I believe they did have some subtitle content on there. I haven't actually used it since they partnered together a few years back. Funimation, Crunchyroll, and a bunch of other like animation things partnered together to make another subscription service where you could get a little bit of both of their two as well as others. And the name is escaping me right now.
I don't know. The only thing that I have right now that I watch everything on is VRV.
That's the one.
Uh, oh, okay, cool.
So it is still a thing. I didn't even realize it was still
Yeah,
a thing.
yeah,
But yeah, so VRV, Verve, if you want to be hip. I
right.
remember my buddy Brian had once corrected me on it, and I don't remember which way he corrected me. If he's supposed to say VRV or it's Verve, and told me either way, he called me a dum dum head, and for saying it wrong, as good friends should do.
Right, right,
But yeah, so like I know they were in a partnership, and apparently it's still going. But like I had heard like that was like slowly getting whittled away, I guess. So
mm-hmm.
I'd only been using Crunchyroll for my anime viewing, but now they full on Sony now full on acquired Crunchyroll, and we don't
Right,
know necessarily what it means. I'd like to hope it's going to be another VRV kind of situation where
right,
they own it. Maybe it'll be separate entities. I would prefer my Crunchyroll subscription to cover also Funimation, so I have my options of sub or dub with also the variety of shows they own. For I guess worst case would be kind of like I'm gonna use a wrestling as a comparison. When the WWE bought up WCW and ECW, and they've done it with some other smaller companies as well. They didn't buy them so they could keep running them as their own show. They bought them so they have their film rights, their archive footage, and certain contracts. In this case, in wrestlers' case, but like so, what I'm saying is like maybe Funimation may have just bought contracts that Crunchyroll had. Maybe they just want their back catalog, and Crunchyroll's not going to exist. I don't know.
yeah. And it's really really interesting with everything that is under both of their umbrellas and everything that they acquired over the time. The biggest thing I want out of this, can
Yeah,
we please just get some like just a full on Toku fucking
yeah.
thing going?
I figured that's where you're going to go with that, and I
Yeah,
wholeheartedly agree.
yeah,
Like, dude, like I know Crunchyroll had Ultraman.
yeah.
I don't know if Sony has owned any other kind of toku or any of their is it Tohei Toei that kind of like is part of that too with the Godzilla franchise. I think they're kind of under the umbrella in Japan at least. So I don't know like what all they would have access to, but that would be amazing. Like to have
Yeah,
like a series of like subtitled dubbed anime, but also the live action, the tokusatsu, the Super Sentai, the Kamen Rider, the Metal Riders, all the other things I don't know about because I'm not. Y'all tune into our previous
right.
episodes where we talked to the Toku Time podcast hosts Drew and Nathan,
Yeah,
where we talked more about those. But yeah, no, that's I think that's big news, especially in the anime industry, because
right.
as we've talked about, there's Crunchyroll's been a big part about legitimizing anime viewing, because anime in America really, outside of what we got on like Adult Swim, heavily pirated fan base, because we had no other options to get shows outside of the same 8 to 10 shows at the time that they would be running. So we're I'm hopeful that this is going to kind of do like what VRV did, have just multiple options, both catalogs, maybe the same kind of subscription service. But
Yeah,
what do
and
you think?
I, so I really would like this, just giant like app that has every single anime and stuff on it. And honestly, I kind of think it would be somewhat cool if like, I'm not sure who exactly owns like Shonen Jump,
Right,
but like I know for a while Crunchyroll tried pushing manga, and it was like more manga that um, wasn't super like out there.
right.
Um,
Which it's actually
it
still there on their, but only on the website.
Right.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool, like if we also had an umbrella for that. I also kind of wonder because Crunchyroll just got the rights to a lot of the webtoons manga series,
right.
and they've been making anime for that. So I kind of wonder if that's just going to continue going, just under the guise of Funimation. Like, I don't feel like with how it's set up. I don't feel like they're just gonna, poof, Crunchyroll's gone now.
Right, right.
They're probably just gonna keep that because I mean, like, out of uh, 10 people, most of the time, if I'm like, hey, say all 10 of these people watch anime legally and everything like that and have streaming services, 8 out of 10 of those people would be watching it on Crunchyroll.
Right.
It seemed like, because I tried Funimation for a little while, and it's been a while because I've been on Crunchyroll kick for so long, and they pretty much have everything I want to watch. There's a lot of stuff that Funimation has that I would also like to see, but like when I tried using like their app and everything, it just wasn't as user friendly
Yeah, I
back
agree.
then. Yeah, and yeah, it's just one of those things of like, from what I remember, there were some shows that I wanted to watch subbed that they just didn't have on their site, and I don't know if that was a thing of like Crunchyroll having the rights to that or something, like the subtitled version of it, and then Funimation only being able to do dub. But yeah, I think it would just be nice to see a big conglomerate and something with even more anime.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. And what I would hope though too is that if it is just gonna be merged into one format, like
Hmm.
say a VRV again or something like that, it would be actually interesting then if another company starts a streaming service that offers like say Tokusatsu or a lot of the other anime that neither company gets. You know what I mean? By
Right.
like when you lose competition, inevitably a new competition will pop up. So that could be very also interesting in for the anime front and the legal anime streaming side. We
Hmm.
might be able to get a company who's like, well, you know what? I mean, this big monopoly in a sense, it kind of is because there's not. I mean, Amazon Prime's got some of their own original anime licenses as well, and Netflix. But another dedicated anime streaming service could come out of this, and that would be
Right.
that'd be very cool.
And I mean, Amazon Prime actually has a lot. I am not sure how much of that stuff is also on Funimation, or
Yeah,
if they've got their own like rights and stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that I've been watching on that is just fantastic. Like I just finished up Vinland Saga, and man, it was amazing. They've also got the remake of Dororo.
oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah, and it's been really good. And then Blade of the Immortal was
right.
another one that they have on there that I've been needing to jump back on and finish. But yeah, it's just all been really great. Hulu has some stuff that you don't see anywhere else as
True,
well, which
true.
is
Yeah, I almost
interesting.
forget about Hulu, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, there's still plenty of options out there, even if say you don't want to kind of jump on to the big boys. I guess you could say
Right.
in the Funimation Crunchyroll scene. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, hopefully, I just hope as we both have friends that work for Crunchyroll, and
Hmm.
for their sake, I hope that they keep their jobs or at least have some kind of access to an option to kind of work with them. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but
That's
also yeah,
I think that's really, the biggest concern, since, we know plenty of people that work for Crunchyroll. We just hope that, like, this provides them with the opportunity to continue the great work that they've been doing.
absolutely. Now,
Hmm.
speaking of monopolies,
Hmm. Hmm.
another very large company that owns multiple franchises and IPs and whatnot also had huge announcement here recently.
Yes. Oh
Yeah,
yes.
uh,
Yes, we are talking about the House of Mouse.
yeah. Disney.
Wait, no, the Mouse House. Is it the Mouse House, or
No,
is it
no.
the
You
House of
had the
Mouse? I
house,
guess it's
the
both.
House of Mouse, House of the Mouse.
Right.
Disney. They recently had their investors meeting, which is basically their kind of their E3 or their Comic Con of just announcing so much new stuff to kind of show like, hey, you pay for this stuff to happen. Let's show you what we're doing with it with all that monies. And I mean everything from their own like Disney and Pixar and their animated feature films to the Star Wars IP they now own, and from small to big screen, as well as Marvel small and big screen as well. I think I'll go ahead and kick off because I'm looking at it right now. Because for me, I think some of
Yeah.
the big a couple of the big announcements are, because right now, as time is recording, and we are releasing it as of we're recording, the Mandalorian.
Mhm.
Uh, right now, probably the biggest Star Wars thing going, of course, because it's the only Star Wars thing going. But it's a very popular franchise, and it's about to wrap up this Friday. Uh, but we've seen a lot of stuff go on in the series, and we got a couple of spin-offs. One confirmed by the title. All we got are titles. We very few of these gotten trailers for any of the things we're going to talk about, but we will, of course, bring up the trailer if they got one.
Yeah.
They got two spin-off series. One is Rangers of the New Republic, which I don't know why I love that title. There's something about just like
Mhm.
the term Rangers, I guess, like really just intrigues me. I'm really curious what it's going to
Yeah,
be.
it's like Power Rangers, right? Power Rangers
Absolutely,
of the New
Super
Republic.
Sentai of the New Republic. Uh,
It's this is them announcing the crossover now.
right, yeah, fine. This is how Disney's going to bring the tokusatsu to you that Crunchyroll won't. But that one,
Perfect.
again, just a title.
Mhm.
Speculation all out there, and I don't like to kind of go on rumors, especially Star Wars rumors, because
Yeah.
you never know.
Oh God, yeah.
Even harder to believe with that fan base. But the other one, which was a rumor for a while, and not a super surprise, especially after the way they
Mhm.
treated this character in the Mandalorian series, is Ahsoka is getting her own spinoff confirmed, which, like I
Right.
said, long rumored. Pretty
Mhm.
much since they all but confirmed she was going to be in this season, they're talking about a spinoff because if you watched Rebels, you know that
Mhm.
she has an ongoing arc, and they covered and it was brought up even in the one episode she appeared in Mandalorian.
And in a future episode of ours, we will actually be discussing that.
We will, which will probably be another one we're going to just release out of order, so we're not months behind.
Right, right.
But yeah, we did talk about a little bit about that, I believe. But the big thing too about Ahsoka is again just a title card. Although that they did confirm that Rosario Dawson will be reprising the role. It will be live action, but the title card has what I believe, and I could be wrong. I'm not the foremost expert in Star Wars, but I do love me some Star Wars. A
Mhm.
star map is behind her name in the logo. So to
So what could that
me,
mean?
I think that means she's searching the stars with a map. As for
Yeah.
those who have seen this, spoilers if you haven't, but you should have already been caught up because it was like 2 weeks ago. She was looking for Thrawn, who was a character
Mhm.
from originally from the old books, and then also made a big part of the Rebels TV show, which means who he disappeared with her friend Ezra, the new like Jedi in training throughout the series.
Mhm.
So I think her solo series is going to be her searching for Ezra.
Right. Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense. Like just with the way it ended, and it's kind of interesting. And they, almost did that in that sort of like, you know, Doom Patrol being in Titans type
Right,
of thing, right?
right.
Where they're like, "Oh, you're gonna get your teaser of this other show we have in our works in an episode of this."
Oh, for sure.
So it was really good how they did that and how they were able to keep it under wraps for so long.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, and those
Yeah.
are both these series are taking place during the timeline of Mandalorian, which is in between
Mhm.
episodes 6 and 7.
Yeah.
So it'll be around there. Like Rangers, that kind of makes me also thinking like, have we seen some hints dropped in these recent episodes about could it be somebody from those? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out.
Yeah, I think the biggest speculation at the moment is something to do with maybe Cara Dune and like
Ooh,
her past.
right.
But yeah, I guess we really don't know for sure until we get like that first trailer or something.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah. The next bit of Star Wars Disney Plus news that we have is Star Wars: The Bad Batch.
Yeah.
And it's been previously announced it's going to be an animated series following the group of rogue clone stormtroopers. If you didn't watch that, their quote unquote last season of Clone Wars, because it almost seems like we've gotten one of those already.
Yeah.
But I mean, they can keep adding to that as many times as they want because it's been amazing.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but the Bad Batch is essentially like they look like they were basically like maybe the reject clones or something like that. Like they look fair like pretty drastically different
Yeah.
than your usual clone. whether it be like they're bigger, stronger, or like maybe a little bit like weaker and but smarter. Like
Or they came
crazy
out looking,
levels of genius.
or they came out looking like Solid Snake instead of Jango Fett,
Right.
as the leader. Totally looks like Solid Snake. But yeah,
Yeah.
they were not perfect clones because the cloners were very prided themselves on the perfect genetic clones of Jango
Right.
Fett. So these guys were throwaways and pretty much like a Suicide Squad. Like, you guys aren't great, but we're going to use these for these missions. And they kept
Hmm.
coming back, like
Yeah.
like they. So it made them really battle hardened. And if you watch the Clone Wars, you know these guys are some badasses. So I'm excited for that show.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was honestly I figured that they had to have something else in the works for them because they really just brought them in for 2 episodes of that last season and then just kind of like left it open. So I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, we're eventually gonna get something for
yeah.
these guys.
Again, planting the seed in the already existing,
Yeah,
series. So it was very
yeah.
cool. Quick one they're gonna do, which they didn't get too much into, because like I said, some of these trailers were just kind of them talking about, hey, we're filming it, get ready for it. Would be Star Wars Andor, the Rogue One prequel spinoff of Cassian Andor. Diego Luna is reprising his role, and he's also, I believe, executive producer. So one of my minorest complaints I had, because I absolutely loved Rogue One, was
Hmm.
in the natural flaw when you only have a movie to do a one-off movie to introduce so many characters, was you didn't quite have the time to kind of know them to really feel the loss at the end.
Hmm.
So I'm all for them getting these prequel stories, and mainly also if Andor does well, maybe we'll get Donnie Yen's Chirrut, and
Ah, yes,
maybe a spinoff with him, which I would absolutely
man.
love.
I mean, and something that I really want, but I'm pretty sure they did maybe a prequel comic or something on.
Hmm.
But I really hope we get a return of Alan Tudyk's character of
Oh
K2SO because
yeah, yeah,
man, I love that character.
that was a great droid.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
some another little quick one. We haven't got much detail other than it's called the Acolyte.
Hmm.
That's from Russian doll creator Leslie Headland. It's going to be set in the High Republic era, which is a long time ago.
Hmm.
But it's going to actually focus on the dark side. So we're
It
getting
was a
a.
long, long time ago, actually, Sean.
You're absolutely right, Jerry. But dark side TV series that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like we've gotten a good bit of both sides, but mostly all of our focus has been around the light side for the longest amount of time.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, if they're gonna do a series just based on like viewing someone from like the dark side, I really hope they give us like their whole like story too, like um, just like them starting off as like a kid or something like that, and growing up in the world of like the old Republic or High Republic as they want to call it,
Right.
and just seeing this like how their life was changed by the Force and how they've had these maybe conflicting emotions and this like darkness like growing inside of them kind of thing, would be like just really intriguing. I really look forward to seeing what they can do. And like a lot of times whenever they do anything with the dark side character, they usually end them on the note of like what like a anti-hero type thing.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting if they're going to go full dark side, like how it's going to end up.
No, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
The potential for either, like, maybe the fall of a hero to the dark
yeah.
side, or like you said,
Hmm.
straight up anti-hero, or man, they could just make a straight up villain story. Just
Hmm.
just completely go full dark side and like show the corruption of people and all that. Yeah, no, there's hella possibilities in that one.
Hmm. Another one that we've kind of known that's been in the works for a long time is a Obi-Wan Kenobi
Yeah.
standoff series, and Ewan McGregor is finally coming back. One of the things that they announced new about this is Hayden Christensen will be returning as Darth Vader in it.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is big.
mm,
Because that my understanding is that it's supposed to be, and again, this may not be nothing official, no trailers.
mhm,
I'd always heard it was supposed to have been about his time in between 3 and 4 while Luke is
mhm,
growing up. his time on Tatooine. But them saying Hayden Christensen returned as Vader, maybe that information was wrong, and we're going to get some, the Clone Wars era, or maybe just flashbacks. We don't know because
Yeah.
they're saying he's returned as Darth Vader, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, unless we're going to actually see it, I guess it could be him taking off the helmet or something. But like, I just don't see them bringing Hayden Christensen to be in a suit the entire time. You know what I mean?
Right, right. And I mean, this can like, I mean, there were so many years in between those films, so there's so much story that we could
Yeah.
see and hear about and everything. And it could be like the beginnings of Vader and like the his still like descent into the dark side and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
Um, for sure.
For
And
me,
then like,
I was gonna say,
go ahead.
sorry, I was just gonna say for me too, because
Mhm.
in when I defend the prequels, because yes, there's some good in the prequels. One of my defenses for it too was that Hayden Christensen is a better actor than those movies will let you believe.
Right.
And I always said, like, you look at his silent moments, his facial movement, his body language, more so than the hollow, boring, stupid Lucas created lines that he was forced
Mhm.
to say, which you can only work so much with. So now, like with him, with another director stepping in, I guess we'll find out if I'm right or wrong. In defending him, I hope I'm right
Right.
that he's better than what those prequels could have allowed him to be.
Right. Uh, and then let's see, we've also got a droid story, and it's supposed to be a new heroic droid will be introduced R2D2 and C3PO.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the story of Dio, who just doesn't like to be touched.
Right.
No, no, thank you. That's from the sequel trilogy. I have absolutely no idea, but yeah, R2D2 C3PO series by droids could be
Yeah.
fun. It was a cartoon
And,
back in the day.
and yeah, I think they didn't they do an animated series for that,
They
and it's
did
just basically like them kind of like telling little snippets of stories,
pretty much,
like
yeah.
little shorts. Yeah, so that should be interesting.
Right.
We also have Star Wars Lando, and it's they quoted a new event series coming to Disney Plus that revolves around Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, which event
I
series
think
mean I think that's like super limited. Like it won't be like a
mhm,
full 8 episodes like Mandalorian's been,
right.
and probably not a continuing project.
Yeah,
But
my biggest thought is they haven't mentioned who's going to be playing him, so I'm kind of wondering if Donald Glover is going to reprise his role, or if we're going to take it back to the OG,
yeah,
and do yeah,
yeah. If and I was thinking about that too. While
Billy
granted,
D. Williams.
I could watch Donald Glover be back as Lando and going on adventures with his sassy robot sidekick that he totally is in love with, but it won't work
Mm-hmm.
out
Mm-hmm.
from the solo series. Or I'd actually be a little happy too if Carl Weathers, or not Carl Weathers, sorry,
Billy D.
Billy D.
Williams.
Williams. I'm still thinking I'm on my Mandalorian kick. Billy D.
Right.
Williams, and that connection with the character whose name I don't have in front of me from the sequel
Mm-hmm.
trilogy. She kind of like she was also a kid who got turned into a stormtrooper and like got away from it. Like Finn they had a little bit of a connection, but actually I would they kind of implied like that Lando would help her kind of find where she belonged in that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That
So
that would
like
definitely be interesting.
I would be okay with either way. To be honest, I've been going either way with that.
Yeah.
Big one for
And then like,
oh sorry.
oh no, you go ahead.
No,
You
I was
announced this
moving
one. I'm
on.
pretty excited
Okay.
about it.
Yeah, yeah. A big one
Oh
for
no.
us is Star
Mhm.
Wars Visions, an anime anthology series with they call it Eastern influences, but it's
Mhm.
gonna be an anthology series directed by anime directors from Japan. So
Mhm.
like it's and maybe more, but like from my understanding was they're getting actual uh, anime directors of series movies to do little one-off episodes, and that's really fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Like, I think ever since they started doing all of the animated expanded universe stuff, I think it's something that we really wanted. Was just having some kind of anime series.
Oh yeah, for
Um,
sure. And even if it's like I said, one-off stories, it could still be a lot of fun. and just my mind of course immediately goes to like the potential of like great little action one-off episodes,
Hmm.
kind of akin to what we would get with Gennady Tartakovsky's Clone
Right.
Wars shorts that actually came out before the Clone Wars animated series, like
Hmm.
stand out like when Mace Windu just had that solo episode, like almost to no known or almost no dialogue, but just him wrecking a droid like convoy, and it was kind of amazing. And as we know, Tartakovsky's influence is heavily influenced by anime, so we could get
Hmm.
that just even upped even further.
Right. And I think that's it for all of the television Star Wars news.
Yep.
They did announce two movies um, that are kind of in the works. And it's Patty Jenkins from Wonder Woman 1984 will direct the next theatrical Star Wars movie, Rogue Squadron, and it's supposed to be coming in 2023.
Right.
Yeah, and um, anybody who's like any kind of like big fan of Star Wars know that Rogue Squadron was like the Rebel Alliance's like big starfighter team
Right.
that was founded by Luke Skywalker. They've made several games on them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's kind of awesome that we're I really like that they, and it's kind of funny that Luke Skywalker started him, but I bet we're probably not going to have Luke Skywalker in the movie. I would assume.
Now,
Uh,
I'm assuming this is going to be kind of yeah, what they were doing before. Well, we don't have a timeline, so we don't
right.
know when it's going to take place. It could
Hmm.
be all the hell. It could focus on uh oh, who was his buddy that he met? That was an X-wing pilot.
Oh man, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Big Star
Uh,
Killer, I believe it
Biggs,
was.
that's it.
Biggs,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, or
yeah,
Wedge Antilles, one of the two. Anyway,
yeah.
but it could be that. It could be what they did after Luke blew up the Death Star and just became the Rogue Squadron.
Hmm.
Who knows? It could open up to many things, but basically, and we didn't get anything other than showing Patty Jenkins talking about her history with the Air
Hmm.
Force. Her father was a fighter pilot who actually died in a war. She'd always kind of grown up around jets and whatnot, so like she does have, and we've seen what she can do with like kind of a war movie with the original Wonder Woman film.
Hmm.
So like I'm excited that she's helming the movie. If they're gonna do like it sounds like she's got the credentials to do a good fighter pilot show or movie. And on top of it, just being the fact that she's actually going to be the first female director for a major Star Wars film,
Right.
and that's cool
Yeah,
as hell.
and yeah, and I mean, they were actually getting Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be on HBO, I think, at the end of the month. So,
Right.
if you want to see more of what she can do for, that time period and heroes and stuff like that, yeah, definitely check out Wonder Woman 1984.
Yep. Yeah, and the now, like I said, Star Wars did Disney did say that they weren't going to be doing a ton of movies here right away, and so
Hmm.
like that being announced as the next one is very cool. And we also have another one coming down the line. From I'm always going to brutalize his name, and I love him so much.
Hmm.
Taika Waititi
Yeah.
from Thor Ragnarok, and what we do in the shadows, is going to be
Yes.
helming a Star Wars feature due out in 2024, and that's literally all we know about it right
Yeah.
now. But I'm
Yeah.
excited. I love his work as a director, and I think and his episodes of Mandalorian always had a good balance of action and humor, as does
Hmm.
like I know Ragnarok had some issues with some people for his humor action balance, but I fucking loved it. So I'm excited for him to do something.
Oh yeah, I like just keep going back to that scene with Din and Grogu on the ship, and he keeps asking him, "No, the blue wire. Put the blue
Oh,
wire. Don't let the blue wire red." And like somebody made a comment that was like Ahsoka and their whole interaction, and Din's like, "Can you ask him if he knows the difference between red or blue? Because I want to know if he's just like fucking with me."
right. He said he's hard headed. He kind of knows at times he's just being a little shit.
Yeah, but yeah,
And
no, I'm completely down for some Taika Star Wars for sure.
right. And like I said, we got some. Disney movies also coming out. We're going to kind of just run through these kind of quick, unless
Hmm.
there's something obviously you really want to talk about. But we
Hmm.
got like the biggest one I think that a lot of people are hyped out, and it's the one coming soonest is Raya and the Last Dragon. Now, that's going to receive
Yeah.
a day and date release in theaters and Disney Plus together for
Yeah.
on March
It. I think
5th.
it actually shows for March. Yeah,
Yeah,
March 5th,
March
twenty
5th.
twenty
Yeah,
one. Um, yeah, it's looking really good. They have released the trailer for it, so definitely go check that out. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful film.
yeah. I need to watch the trailer. That's why I don't have a super lot to say on it. But I've heard the
Right.
name drop. I just have no excuse. I just haven't watched it yet.
Yep.
We
Yep.
are getting a Zootopia Plus, a series based on the Zootopia film. That'll be in the spring of 2022. Uh, Baymax is getting a focus on the health focused robot of Big Hero 6. Oh, that'll be in early 2022. Moana is going to get a long form musical comedy spin off series set for the streaming service in 2023. Tiana is coming also from Princess and the Frog. That'll be another 2023. I'm personally with that one. I'm excited to get maybe a little more of that because I felt like Princess and the Frog had a lot more potential, but it
Mm.
just didn't really click. You know what I mean? Like my wife
Right.
felt the same way, and she was super excited about it. Like it had potential, but it just didn't quite hit like it should have. I think.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. No.
maybe they'll get to do a little better if they expanded on it a little more.
Hmm.
One I'm personally excited about because I did not know what anything about this one is a movie called Encanto. This will be the music will be written by Lin Manuel Miranda. This is a new Pixar film set in Colombia. Which
Hmm.
I mean, after the success of Coco, I'm kind of glad they're going to continue kind of exploring Hispanic and South American kind of folklore. The wiki said that it is going to be the main character is the only non-magic user of her family. So yeah,
Oh.
so we got a little magic thing going on in there, as well as me being half Colombian and a terrible Colombian at that. Uh, I'm excited that we are getting a little Colombian representation coming out. So that sounds very cool to me.
Hmm. Yeah. They also have a new. It looks like a long form series called Iwaju, made with Kugali Media. Premiering on Disney Plus in 2022. I'm not really sure what original long form series means.
Right. I don't know. Like, it's a long form series. I'm not sure, but if this is the one I'm remembering, this is the Kugali Media is actually an African entertainment media. So they're
Okay,
actually
yeah,
partnering with like an African like either television series or maybe a movie company. I'm not really sure what all they do, but I did see that they were like they are an entertainment a media company set in based in Africa.
yeah.
So that could be a
Pan African comics publisher to
oh
create Iwaju.
oh there we
Yeah,
go.
yeah, interesting. Yeah, so I mean that should be awesome. As far as Pixar movies go, we've got Lightyear that was announced, starring Chris Evans, and it's the origin story of the real Buzz Lightyear. And it's supposed to hit theaters in 2022. It's interesting, right? Because we all know Buzz Lightyear from the Toy Story movies. Well, this is like his like fiction of who that character, the toy, is based off of,
Right.
right?
Yeah. So
So,
it'll be interesting to see how different because like Buzz Lightyear had all the delusions that he was real at the time, and you know and then we even had like the TV the cartoon series. But is that the story of the toy, or like is this Chris Evans one gonna be? And this is a, CG film.
right.
So like yeah, that's interesting. I'm very
Hmm.
curious what direction they're gonna go with that.
Right. And then exploring more parts of the world, we have Luca, set in a seaside town of Italy, will arrive in theaters June 2021.
Yeah.
Turning Red is another movie that's coming out from Pixar. Follows a 13-year-old girl who is changing during puberty and also has the ability to transform into a giant red panda when she gets excited.
Just
Same.
I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then there's the Pixar stuff that they're doing on Disney Plus. Was that Doug Days, which follows the dog from Up? Um,
Yep. Yes, it
so that's
is. Gonna be chasing some squirrels in the suburbs.
Pixar Popcorn is a new series of shorts focused on beloved Pixar characters, which is set to debut next month. I'm assuming that's going to be kind of like the other little shorts that they do for
Yeah.
certain movies. So that'll be kind of interesting. I like watching those, getting a little extra tidbit.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, they're doing a Lightning McQueen and Mater follow up series on Disney Plus. So if you're a Cars fan, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm sure there's
Um,
somebody out there still is.
right, they've like killed it. And then it's Pixar's first original long form animated series will be Win or Lose, about a co ed middle school softball team and the week leading up to a championship game. Each episode will be told from the perspective of a different member of the team, and it will hit Disney Plus in fall 2023. So I'm guessing this is going to be more like their Disney original like movies that they do,
Yeah.
except like maybe a higher budget and more a little bit more of a mature tone. Um, and then we have the Marvel stuff. But before we talk about the Marvel stuff, I kind of wanted to bring up one thing that I was excited about that wasn't on this list.
Oh, okay.
So there is a film or a book series, rather, that I discovered. Was it last year? Yeah, I think the beginning of last year. Called "Children of Blood and Bone" by Tommy Adiyami, and they just announced this week that it's getting a movie. And as much as I love my Marvel and all of my Star Wars news and everything like that, this is big for me.
Right.
Like, I love this book series. I'm really excited about it becoming a series, and it's influenced by Adiyami's West African heritage, and in it she bends religious deities and a diverse landscape to a refreshing new take on fantasy. I reading it, I kind of got like this sort of African Avatar type of vibe because there's a lot to do with the spirits of the world, and they have these abilities that a lot of people are connected with that have to do with like different elements and stuff of that nature.
Oh,
But
okay.
it,
Yeah.
it really expands it quite a bit, a bit more than Avatar. So I am pretty excited to see what they do. And then you have your group of like non magic users that are like against the spirits and magic and stuff like that. So
Right. Right.
definitely recommend checking out the book series and yeah, look out for this movie. It's gonna be really good.
Oh, sounds
I'm
awesome.
yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
as you said, yeah, we also got a lot of Marvel stuff coming
yo,
to the screen.
my God.
Goodness. But yeah, kicking off with they gave us another new trailer, another trailer for the upcoming WandaVision TV show. And this is about like the second or third trailer that they've shown, and I still don't know what the fuck is going on in the show.
So it's kind of interesting. Was it Tom King did a Vision
Hmm.
comic book series a while back? It's got 2 volumes, and they're planning on continuing it more. Um, I feel like it's loosely going to be sort of based off that, but it looks like there's going to be more reality bending to it.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it's essentially like Vision and Wanda. Well, no, sorry, it didn't have Vision and Wanda in it, but it had Vision and his like creating a family type
Yeah,
thing.
his family of
Um,
other fellow Vision type robots.
right. So what we can imagine, I guess, based off of everything that happened in the movies, and it looks like there's no specific timeline. They're touching on a lot of different versions of both of these characters, right? It kind
Right.
of has like, from some of the trailers, it seems like it almost has like a I Love Lucy type, sitcom feel or whatever. I'm pretty sure I saw a laugh track in one of the trailers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So like I almost think this is going to be like almost a return of the Vision, because Shuri was working on the Mind Stone and transferring his consciousness and everything.
Right.
We don't know how far she got with that. So what if like this whole thing is kind of like a simulation in his mind? Since it wasn't complete, it's like trying to repair itself so he could, come back.
Yeah, for sure.
Is
I could see
Yeah.
that. My other like my kind of like fan theory because we have
Mhm.
no idea, and luckily we'll actually know in January 15th when it comes out. It's actually not that far away.
Right.
Um, I also kind of had an idea that they're going to be touching on Scarlet Witch Wanda's more comic book oriented powers of like reality
Yes.
warping. That maybe this is her way of coping with the loss of Vision.
Right. Yeah, and like I really look forward to them doing that because they didn't really like I think what in Age of Ultron
Yeah,
they kind of touched on it a little bit, but
right.
other than that she's just been like, uh flying and using red beams to do
Yeah,
stuff.
like manipulating people with it,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
blasting Thanos so much he had to call an airstrike. He's like, "Whoa, where the fuck did she come from?"
Yeah, yeah.
Like so. Yeah. Well, very, very curious, very interesting, and like I said, we'll know here in a little over a month what it's all about
Mhm.
because the trailers sure aren't being clear. I think that's intentional. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
a very kind of trippy mind fuck kind
Mm,
of show, and I'm hyped for that for sure.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
the next one they have slated is, and they released a trailer for that as well, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, what else could you say about this? It's Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan reprising their roles as Falcon and Winter Soldier. And it's essentially like, in a world after Captain America, trying to pick up that mantle and like it just the weight of that of the shield and everything.
Oh yeah, for sure. On top of the fact that, of course, we're getting the buddy cop feel of they don't really get along, but they got to work together.
Mhm.
But yeah, in the comics, both of them at one point held the shield, had the mantle
Right.
of like Captain America. So we don't know which way it's going to go for us comic book fans, and for people who don't read, it may still be a shock if one of them even picks up the mantle or not. I'm very looking forward to
Yeah.
this as well, and it's going to be coming in
Oh,
March. So
yeah. I am thrilled. And correct me if I'm wrong. WandaVision was supposed to be this month or this year.
yeah,
Wasn't Falcon and Winter Soldier also supposed to be
I,
this year?
I think a lot of these shows, including the next one we're going to be talking about, was originally slated for the end of this year, but
Yeah.
COVID, that's what's
Right.
going on in the world. There was delays, not only just in filming, but just post production work. When you're working in a small
Hmm.
office doing special effects, you can't always do that when the world is how it is. So they had to play it safe, and it delayed production on all
Right.
three of the
Right.
series, including the third one, which is going to make a lot of people excited because
Hmm.
people love their bad boys at times. I'm afraid
Hmm.
of, and Loki certainly has his share of fans, and rightfully so. Tom Hiddleston was fantastic in the movies, and he looks to be
Hmm.
fantastic in his own series that'll be coming in May of 2021.
Hmm.
This is following my guess of an alternate timeline that was created during, and we're not even gonna get into all the timey wimey bullshit of Endgame. But like,
Right.
whether there was multiple or just singular alternate realities created, you can't deny that there was one created when he grabbed the Tesseract and teleported out.
Hmm.
And it looks
Yeah.
like he's like in the trailer, which it was a pretty detailed trailer, kind of showing that he's locked down by this company. I've never heard of it. It may be from the comics, but like, and it looks like he's going to be going on like kind of like reality warping while trying to get out away from these people. It looks very
Right.
interesting.
Yeah. Fucking Owen Wilson
Owen Wilson,
of all
yeah,
people. Yeah.
like
That's so weird.
where's he been outside of the Cars movies that we mentioned earlier?
I wonder if this is kind of going to be like a sort of thing where how in Umbrella Academy, they had the weird like time cops or whatever
Right.
that were constantly chasing. Was it
Ah.
number four?
Right.
God,
Right.
I always moments. But yeah, like what if they're like, you can't change reality, or you've
Hmm.
created all these heinous crimes. And it's kind of cool because I've noticed, there were little tidbits in there that were like, oh yeah, I absolutely recognize this image from a comic, and this one and this one.
Yeah.
So I wonder what all versions of him we're going to get, because there was like what your standard long-haired version, the version where he's wearing a suit and the like crown and the
Right.
button that says "Vote for Loki," and then there's a version where he's got short hair. So if we're gonna do a lot of reality hopping and stuff, what I would really like to see is that child version of him that we got,
Oh
and
yeah.
then like the female version of
I was
him,
gonna say
and
that's the one I want to see them cast is a fan named Lady Loki, but
right,
like
right.
him being that's kind of like a god of mischief.
Hmm.
We don't know if he ever sees himself as necessarily male, which I think is what
Right.
they kind of covered in the comic of like why are you now a woman? He goes, maybe this is just what I want to be right now. Kind of a fluid
Hmm.
thing, which would be a nice thing to touch on for like I said, getting representation out there.
Right,
So
right, yeah,
sincerely looking forward to Loki as
yeah.
well. We're gonna kind of unfortunately where I'm a little pressed for time, unfortunately.
Okay,
So we
I
are gonna.
gotcha, I gotcha.
I'm getting phone calls from work, and
Oh,
so we're gonna buzz through these, unfortunately. But there's
yep,
so much we could spend hours talking about this. But
absolutely.
but we got Hawkeye coming out late of 2021 that they confirmed that Haley Steinfeld will be appearing as Kate Bishop. That is his Hawkeye's daughter from the movie series. So that's gonna be
There are
very cool.
production photos of that, so
Yep.
go check that out.
The What If animated Marvel series is going to be a lot of fun. If you don't know, Marvel is always like the what ifs are just like one shot takes of alternate realities, basically. And the trailer
Hmm.
showed a lot of interesting things, one of which being that T'Challa taken by Yondu out into space when he's a
Hmm.
child. Very
Yeah, and
hyped for
making in
that.
the new Star Wars. Yeah. Then I think we also had a zombie Captain America in that trailer too, so that was pretty great.
Yeah, because we had a what if oh, what's his girlfriend from World War? The spy, super spy,
Oh, Peggy Carter
Peggy
as
Carter being Captain
basically
America,
Captain Britain.
Captain Britain,
Yeah,
basically. Yeah, so that was interesting. That
yeah,
again, a
yeah.
lot of possibilities. These what ifs are going to be a lot of fun. Ironheart is going to be getting a series. That is teenage Riri Williams, who created her own Iron Man suit of sorts. It kind of became her own character. That's gonna be a lot of fun. It's actually a character I've been wanting to see. Whether it's going to be live action animated, I don't think it's been made clear yet. We're getting Armor Wars, starring Don Cheadle's War Machine, which it will be after Tony Stark's tech that falls into the wrong hands. We're getting
Hmm.
Secret Invasion with Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn's Talos from Captain Marvel. Can be in their own thing. She-Hulk,
Yes.
getting all the detail on my
Yep.
She-Hulk. Super excited
Hmm.
about. They finally confirmed, long rumored, and she had denied. I'm sure for reasons, because they can't really
Hmm.
say until the official announcement that Tatiana Maslany from what was that Dark. Anyway, I guess unfortunately pressed for time, but
Yeah.
she's gonna be in it. I know my friends have watched some of the show she's on that I can't think of at the moment. Super hyped.
Orphan, was it Orphan Black?
Orphan Black, that's the one. They are
Gotcha.
very hyped when it was rumored to be her, and now I'm sure they'll be hyped that it's confirmed. Also confirmed that Mark
Hmm.
Ruffalo's Bruce Banner will be appearing in that, as well as other
Right.
MCU characters.
Hmm.
We are getting a Ms. Marvel TV show that is Kamala Khan, which will be revealed that she'll also co-star in a sequel to Captain Marvel with Brie Larson.
Yes, and she's being cast by, or Aman Valani
Oh,
is
thank you.
Kamala
Yeah.
Khan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which also being that she is a Middle Eastern character of a Muslim faith, and they're actually getting they got a Middle Eastern descent actress as well as directors for the show, so that's like very cool. We're getting James Gunn will write and direct a live action Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special for Disney Plus, set to arrive in 2022. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is still set for theaters in 2023. We're getting a
Maybe
series
I'll
of
finally get Beta Ray Bill.
we are never getting Beta Ray Bill. Uh, we are going to get a series of short films, though, starring Groot. A series called I Am Groot, aptly named.
Mm.
But yeah, we are. They did confirm that Black Panther will not be recasting the late Chadwick Boseman, and director Ryan Coogler is working on a new concept. The film is still scheduled to arrive in July of 2022. We are. Feige also teased the official announcements of Marshala Ali's Blade will be coming in the near future. So hopefully we'll be hearing a little more about that.
Just give us a trailer already.
They did give us the title for the next Ant-Man film called Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Yes,
Quantumania, which which
yes,
confirmed to appear as the villain. Jonathan Majors playing Kang the Conqueror.
yes. And if you've watched Lovecraft Country, I
Yes.
know you're just so ecstatic about that. He is
Oh,
a phenomenal actor, and I cannot wait to see what he does with Kang.
yep. They did confirm that WandaVision, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is the next Doctor Strange film, and the untitled third Spider-Man feature are all connected, which is opening
Yes.
just the rumor mill of the multiverse, the Spider-Verse, into the Spider-Verse, if you will,
Oh,
live action, which
I need
I'm
it all.
I'm as excited as I am scared because it could either to me, I have very little hope of a middle ground. It's either going to be
Mhm.
fucking amazing or a fucking dumpster fire. And I'm really
Oh,
worried of the latter.
they just need to go straight ham
I,
and
I
just do it.
and make it work cuz unfortunately too much can
Yeah.
also be too bad, could be bad, as we got with some of the
Hmm.
worst Spider-Man movies in my opinion. But and the last little bits that we have is that MCU Spider-Man director John Watts is now making a new Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, we know how much you guys have loved the last three that they made.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is going to be done by Disney Marvel, so it's going to be good, right?
Uh, God, I hope they can make Fantastic Four interesting. It's not only just how bad, to me, it's just Fantastic Four are very hard to make well.
Yes.
I mean, even comics, I've just never been a big Fantastic Four guy. But if
Right.
I mean, no one heard of Guardians of the Galaxy before Marvel made a movie, so maybe they can finally get it done and get it done right. But I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Unfortunately, I do
Yeah.
have to cut us a little short. Real life
I understand.
is stabbing me in the kidneys since we started recording this, and I can only comfortably ignore life for so long. Thank y'all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed a very quick rundown of so much news that could honestly fill up multiple episodes of us getting into. And
Mhm.
we may go back and like really examine a few of the ones we're super excited about in the future. But if you liked what you heard, please like, comment, subscribe. Comment especially. Let us know what you're thinking about these upcoming, all these announcements from Crunchyroll's acquisition to, all the stuff Disney's going to be putting out under their multitudes of IPs. But yeah, and of course, share the video with your friends. Let them know what me and Jerry are making some form of entertainment for y'all. We hope you're enjoying it. And yeah, that's gonna do it. So we'll catch y'all later.
Peace.